What is up, guys? It is DMG here, and today is going to be another ranting and raving video about the biggest problem within the FIFA community. But before we get into it, I have a test for you guys. This is me waiting in the loading screen looking for my opponent's team. Now, my test for you guys is for you guys to see how many players of my opponent's team that you can name. You know literally nothing about my opponent, you have no info about him, but I suspect that you guys are going to be able to guess a handful of his players. So take a couple seconds, get a few names in your mind, and without further ado, here is his team. Now, I can guarantee that the vast majority of you guys were to have guessed 2, potentially even 3 players, and I would not be shocked if a large portion of you also got 8 of his players, which include Mbappe, Neymar, Mendy, Varane, Gomez, Kyle Walker, potentially even Nick Pope, and then N'Golo Kante. Here's another test for you guys. Again, we are in the loading screen before we get to see my opponent's team, and again, my test to you. See how many players that you can guess are on my opponent's team. Again, take a couple seconds, get some names in your head, and again, here is his team. Like before, I'm sure you guys got a few names, right? Such as the Neymar, the Mbappe, the Mendy, the Varane, the Kyle Walker. So my point is this. The FIFA community is the most boring and unoriginal community in the entire gaming community. The FIFA community is so fixated on what the best meta players are, what the best meta formation is, what the best meta tactics are, and grinding out to a win more than anything else that it has completely ruined FIFA. Now, obviously, there are other things gameplay-wise, and the FIFA community is not completely at fault, as EA have been pushing this very competitive nature of a game for the last 5 iterations of FIFA, but nevertheless, that does not mean that the FIFA community is completely blameless either. Obviously, if it's within the first few weeks of FIFA and you're grinding foot champs, trying to get as many coins as you can, trying to get as many packs as you can, so then you can eventually use those players that, you know, maybe look actually interesting. Again, that's obviously fair. That makes sense. It's the beginning of FIFA. You try to rack up as many coins as possible. If you're a pro, obviously you're going to be using the most meta tactics, formations, and players because you are a professional. But here's the thing. FIFA has been out for over 3 months now, and the vast majority of us, probably 99% of us, are not actually professionals. So why is it that everyone acts as if they are professionals, or acts as if it is the first few weeks of FIFA, and they try to use the most meta formation, tactics, players, etc., in order to grind out a win that they don't genuinely even enjoy? Gone are the days of using those full Brazilian silver teams, or finding hidden gems like this Shakawi card here. Everyone is going to be using the same players game in, game out, because apparently winning is the only thing that matters. You may not think it's a problem, but let me show you this. This is all within one video. This is all within 50 minutes of each other, and all 4 of my opponents have very, very similar teams with the exact same players. And I can tell you this, that they were playing 4-4-2, they were playing 4-2-3-1, again using the drop back, the 1 depth, using the most meta tactics and formations possible with the exact same players. And again, this is within one video, less than an hour, 4 games back to back to back to back, and yet apparently it's not a problem. In my opinion, Ultimate Team should be about finding those gems and making that essentially emotional connection to the player, making them almost want to buy one of their kits. I've done that for myself actually, and I do that at the end of every single FIFA, and that is get a kit or jersey of my favorite player, and this year is not going to be any different. This player right here, Joaquin Correa, has probably been one of my favorites this year, and I can guarantee that almost no one has used him a whole lot because of his balance. But let me tell you this, when you actually use him in game, you don't notice his balance. But guess what? You would not know that because you were too busy writing him off because he's not Mbappe, he's not Neymar, he's not Rashford, etc. You may think he's not actually one of my favorite players, but looking at his stats, 76 games played, 63 goals, and 63 assists. But again, right, I'm completely just making this up, and he's definitely not one of my favorites. If you guys have been watching this channel for a while, you know who my favorite player of any FIFA of all time is, and that is second in form Roman Aremenko from FIFA 16. This guy who has no links whatsoever because he played in the Russian league and was Finnish, who doesn't seem to have the best in-game stats, was genuinely the greatest player I have ever played with in genuinely any FIFA ever. Again, gone are the days of finding those hidden gems and finding players like this, who are going to be some of the best players that you would literally ever play with in the history of FIFA. And you may think there are not a lot of great players to try, but the thing is, over the past few FIFAs, something that EA has actually done very, very well is provide us chances to use different players who are genuinely decent. There are a lot of great players to try. You have this right wing, Lautaro Martinez, 91 pace, 93 dribbling, insane all-around stats, 4-star, 4-star, high-low work rates. But again, because he's not Neymar or Mbappe, people aren't going to use him. This Alfred Duncan card right here, if you compare his stats to 85 Essien, to baby Essien, Duncan is just as good, if not a little bit better than him. This card is genuinely just as good, if not better, than an icon. What about this Mkhitaryan card? You put an engine, you put a hunter on him, something, he's going to be great. 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills, high medium work rates. He has the finesse shot, he has the flair trait. But again, because he's not Neymar or because he's not Mbappe, people are not going to be using him. All I'm saying is that you guys really need to try different things. I'm not saying that you guys need to scrap your entire team. I'm not saying to stop using meta players, because for me, I actually have an 86 Rashford red pick that I managed to get an upgrade, and yeah, he's been fantastic for me. He's been a lot of fun, but I've also used new formations, new tactics. I haven't been using him constantly. I've been switching things up, and that's genuinely what it's about. That's it. Just literally try new things. Don't use the same team over and over and over again, because then you're going to be so focused on winning, so focused on trying to get as many coins or packs as possible, that you're going to completely lose sight of the actual implementation of Ultimate Team, which is to literally just try out new players. So that is going to do it for this video. Again, just please try some new things, be a little bit different, don't focus so much on winning and losing. Try finding players that you genuinely have that like emotional connection to, right? And just try to enjoy the game for what it is. Like I said though, that is going to be it. If you guys do want to continue talking about this, we obviously can in the comments, but like I said, that is going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been DMG. Peace.